A Hong Kong trust can be useful when family wealth is spread across companies, property, investment accounts, and different jurisdictions. The main issue is usually ownership. Assets may be valuable, but if they are still held personally, control can pause when death, incapacity, or dispute occurs. For international families, this can create delays across more than one country. Probate may be needed in one place, tax questions may come in another place. Family members may also need access to funds before the legal process is completed. A Hong Kong trust is often used to create a legal structure around those assets before that point arrives. My name is Shiraz Waheed and I'm the co-founder at Lepidus Wealth. And in this video, I'm going to explain why wealthy families use Hong Kong trust for estate planning, how they work, where they fit in the cross-border family structure, and what you need to consider before using one as part of your wider wealth structure. To understand the value of a Hong Kong trust, it helps to see it as a governance tool. It is used to organize ownership, control, succession, and administration under a recognized legal framework. A Hong Kong trust is a legal arrangement where assets are transferred to a trustee who holds and manages those assets for selected beneficiaries. The person who creates the trust is usually called the settlor. The beneficiaries may be family members, future generation, or people or entities named in the trust deed. The trust deed is the core document. It sets out who benefits, how decisions are made, what powers the trustee has, and how income or capital may be distributed. It can also include rules for special situations, such as a child reaching a certain age, family member becoming incapacitated, or a family business needing continuity. This structure matters because the assets are no longer managed as if they are only part of one individual's personal estate. They are managed under the terms of the trust, which can help reduce delays and create clearer process for succession. Now, when it comes to trust, Hong Kong is often considered because it has a common law trust system, a developed financial services market, and a strong professional infrastructure. For families with Asian assets, international portfolios, or business links across the region, Hong Kong can be a practical solution because banks, trustees, lawyers, and accountants, and investment managers are already familiar with cross-border wealth planning in Hong Kong. A trust is only as useful as the legal and administrative environment around it. Families need trustees who understand fiduciary duties, banks that understand trust accounts, and advisors who can coordinate legal, tax, and succession issues across more than one country. Hong Kong is also used for long-term planning. Trust can be structured to support succession across generations while maintaining a disciplined governance process. However, Hong Kong trust should not be treated as a universal answer. Its effectiveness depends on where the settlor is resident, where beneficiaries live, where the assets are located, and how the trust is funded. Now, one of the main estate planning reasons to use the trust is continuity. When assets are held personally, those assets may be frozen or delayed after death until probate or estate administration is completed. Probate is the legal process that confirms who has the authority to deal with the deceased person's assets. For a family with assets in several jurisdictions, the process can become slower because different countries may require separate procedures, local legal documents, translations and valuations, and courts or registry filings. A Hong Kong trust can help because trust-held assets are managed according to the trust deed. The trustee can continue administering the assets without waiting for every personal estate process to finish. This can be important where the trust owns shares in a family company, investment assets used for family liquidity, or structures that needs ongoing management. Assets must still be properly transferred into the trust, and local rules in each jurisdiction still matter. But when the structure is correctly implemented, the family has a clearer control path compared with direct personal ownership. A trust is often used because it creates formal governance layer around family wealth. Governance simply means the rules for how decisions are made. For wealthy families, these rules can be just as important as the tax and legal outcome. The trust deed can define how income is distributed, who can benefit, how investments are managed, and what happens if there is a disagreement. It can also appoint a protector depending on the structure. A protector is usually someone who is given oversight powers such as ability to approve certain trustee decisions or replace a trustee in defined circumstances. This can be useful when a family wants professional administration but still wants the comfort around major decisions such as selling a family business, distributing large capital amounts, changing beneficiaries, or moving assets into another structure. Now, cross-border families often face a practical problem. Their wealth may be international, but their asset plan may be based on one country's assumptions. A will in one jurisdiction may not deal smoothly with assets in another country. A company structure may solve business ownership, but leaves family succession unclear. A Hong Kong trust can create a central structure for selected assets. The trust may hold shares in underlying companies, invest investment accounts, or other holding vehicles. Those underlying entities may then own assets in different countries depending on legal and tax advice. This layering can make administration more organized because succession is managed through the trust or holding structures rather than through each asset separately. Now, when it comes to tax and estate planning, Hong Kong abolished estate duty, which is one of the reasons why families look at it as a wealth planning jurisdiction. But that does not mean a Hong Kong trust automatically removes tax exposure in every country connected to the family. Tax depends on the settlor's domicile and residence, the beneficiary's tax position, the source of income, the location of assets, and the rules of any country involved. For example, a UK-connected family must consider UK inheritance tax, domicile rules, income tax, capital gains tax, and anti-avoidance rules. A family with US person must consider US tax and reporting rules. Other countries may have forced heirship, gift tax, wealth tax, or reporting requirements. The trust should therefore be reviewed before assets are transferred. Funding the trust at the wrong time or in the wrong way can create tax cost, reporting problems, or challenges later. Asset protection also depends on the timing and intent. A trust created after a legal claim has already been made or when a creditor issue is expected may be challenged in court. Now, a Hong Kong trust may be worth considering if you have cross-border assets, Asian business interests, international beneficiaries, or a need for separate ownership from personal estate administration. It may also be useful where you want a long-term succession framework instead of relying only on wills. It can be particularly relevant for founders, family business owners, international families, and families with investment portfolios held across different platforms. The structure can help centralize control, reduce probate disruption, and create a defined governance process for future generations. But the suitability must be tested carefully. The trust must work with your tax position, family circumstances, asset location, banking relationships, and wider estate plan. A well-designed Hong Kong trust can support continuity, protect governance, and provide a structured way to pass control across generations. The value of the trust comes from proper design, correct funding, and coordination with the rest of the family wealth structure. So if you want our help and would like to explore whether a Hong Kong trust or other offshore trust structures can fit your situation, you can request a personalized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below. That's it for today, and I will see you in the next video.